Hey guys, my name is April and you are watching Go Live with April, and here are the 5 apps that you will need for your solo travel vacation to Paris and London. So guys, I went to Paris and London by myself in 2016. Solo black woman travel, just on a European adventure by myself. And there were some things that were really essential to me having a very successful trip. My trip to Paris and London by myself was the best trip I have ever taken, and it really awakened something in me that makes me want to travel more solo. I was just like, I conquered the hell out of Paris and London. Like, I made it my boss. I was walking around there like I knew what I was doing, like I knew where I was going, like I was a local. You didn't know I wasn't a local until I opened my mouth and you hear this very American Ohio accent. But other than that, like, I'm trying to tell y'all, I just walked around that city like, this is my city. I own this city like Diddy, okay? But the reason I felt so confident to walk around and just be solo in Paris and London was because of the utensils that was on my phone. And these 5 apps will definitely help you through your travels. The very first one that you are going to want to download on your solo travel trip or just on a trip in general to Paris and London is going to be Citymapper. Citymapper is the best app ever. It literally maps the whole city. I would wake up in the morning, I'm in my hotel, I'm just sitting, chilling. I go downstairs, have me a Parisian breakfast with a croissant, girl, or guy, and some tea or something, and I would map out my day. I would say, today I want to go see I want to go to Champs-Élysées and I want to shop. And then after I leave there, I want to go to the Eiffel Tower. And then after there, I want to go to the Louvre. And then after there, I just want to go check out this restaurant. And so in that day, it was like, how am I going to move about the city to get to these places? And that's where Citymapper came in. You just basically plug in. You don't even have to plug in where you are. You just say current location. It picks up where you are. You say where you want to go, and then it pulls up like 4 different ways to get there. It'll give you the bus. It'll give you the train. It'll give you if you want to walk it. It'll even tell you how much it's going to be if you want to call an Uber or if you want to just take a city taxi. Like, it's the best thing. And you can use it offline, so you don't have to have, cellular data, or you don't have to be in Wi-Fi, because once the destination actually pulls up and you choose, like, say for instance that you want to take the bus, it's going to literally tell you where to walk to get on the bus, what time the bus is going to come. Once you get on the bus, it's going to tell you each stop that you're going to pass before you get off. It'll have like 6 different stops, the names of all the stops, and then it'll have the one that you want to get off on. Once you get off, it'll say, walk here, turn right there, and then it's, 200 feet on the left-hand side. But you can save all of that information just on your phone, and you can look at it even if you're not on cellular data or Wi-Fi. Luckily for me, I have Verizon, so I had cellular data wherever I went, so I just left the map open and it just kind of guided me. But that is the number 1 app that I would suggest is Citymapper, because it's going to help you be able to navigate your way around the city. No matter where you want to go, what method you want to take, Citymapper is going to help you get there, and it's going to make you feel confident enough to walk around that city like, I know where I'm going. I know I'm supposed to get on bus 63, and I'm going to get off at Champ de Mars, which is 5 stops after this one. You just get on the bus and sit down and be like, I'm here. As long as you don't open your mouth, nobody knows that you're not from there. So the very second app that I found was really, really helpful, and this might be a shocker, but it really was Facebook Messenger. Trying to make, if you live in the United States or wherever you're from, trying to make calls or keep in touch with your family members or let your loved ones know where you're going, it can be a little taxing when you're in a foreign country, because you have to have, like, the country codes and different things like that. Sometimes you just really can't get a signal out, even if you have the best internet service provider or cellular service provider ever. It's just so much easier to communicate through Facebook. I will literally open Messenger, send my mom a good morning text, or, you know, let my brother or sister know, you know, do you want this, you know, shirt or something like that. And it was easy to communicate. You can use it on Wi-Fi, you can use it on cellular data. Y'all know how Facebook Messenger works. You don't need me to tell you. You can make calls, you can make video calls, like you can just do so many different things on Facebook Messenger, because let's just face it, not everybody has an iPhone. If you have an iPhone and everybody in your family has an iPhone, then you don't even have to worry about that, because you can iMessage anywhere around the world. You can FaceTime anywhere around the world, but there are Android, Samsungs, Googles, and everything in my family. So Facebook Messenger definitely came in for the clutch. The next app that you are probably going to want to download is going to be Google Translate. Now, I did try to learn a little bit of French before I went to Paris. London, you're cool. Everybody speaks just proper English. Like, those are our native people. We came from Britain. Well, I didn't come from Britain, but okay, we know what we talking about. If you're from the U.S., sidebar. Make sure you guys thumbs up if you find this video informative and entertaining, because I am funny. So anyway, London was fine. You're not going to have an issue with, you know, speaking if you're from the U.S., because everybody speaks very proper English, darling, okay? But in Paris, there is a little barrier language, but most people actually speak English, but sometimes you're going to need to know a little bit of French, or at least be able to recognize certain words. So I downloaded the Google Translate app, because there were times where I would be in a restaurant that I really wanted to eat at, or I would be out and it was a sign, or I'll be in the store and it was something, and I needed to know, you know, what did this word mean, or how do I say this word, or how do I translate this into French. I didn't use it very often, but it was a definite safety and security that I love to have, because it was like, I'm not in a place and I'm just stuck. Even though I had, you know, learned a couple words, like I had learned help, how much, no, you know, different things like that, like police, U.S. Embassy. I wasn't playing about my safety while I was over there, okay, y'all? So just to recap, Citymapper, Facebook Messenger, and Google Translate. The other one that I downloaded that I used pretty often, especially in Paris, because the food culture is a lot different. I am from the United States, so it pains me to say this. I don't eat this way now. But back then when I went, you know, I'm a chicken finger, fry, hamburger, American food type of girl. And the food culture in France or Paris is very elevated. They're trying to bring it down a little bit, but it is a very elevated palate. So I wanted to find places that had food that I like to eat, because if you just walk into a place, you're probably going to be like, unless you just have a really good, you know, Top Chef, beat Bobby Flay palate, if you're the normal chicken fingers and hamburger, you're not going to like the food in Paris. I really didn't like the food in Paris. I really didn't like the food in Paris. And that's just being honest. That's just being honest. Like, the bread is good. The pastries are good. The little baguette, like the sandwiches on the go, those grab and goes, which is what I found myself eating a lot, those were super good. But other than that, I didn't like the food. So I used Yelp a lot on my trip in both Paris and London, just to kind of pull up, like, you know, what do travelers say are the best places to eat? If I wanted pizza, then I just put in Yelp pizza, or if I was in a specific area, I would just open up Yelp to see what were the #1 visited restaurants, and then it has pricing on there, because you'll walk into a restaurant and you'll sit down and it's like, who's paying these prices? I mean, at least I wasn't, because I went to, you know, Paris and London on a budget. Like, I stepped off the plane in Paris for like $280 US, okay? So that's just, you know, how I was feeling. But Yep, will definitely help you with, you know, navigating different restaurants, different stores, different food places, different entertainment venues. And it was really helpful in my travels. So hopefully you guys, if you are planning a trip to Paris and London, whether solo or with a group, you find this video very informative and helpful, and you download those apps. Yelp, Facebook Messenger, Google Translate, and Citymapper. Those were my 4 favorite and top apps. There's going to be one more app that I'm going to throw in there at the end, and that is going to be your bank app. You better have electronic banking when you are traveling, because the conversion rate, I use my debit card a lot versus just kind of using cash. I definitely had some euros in pocket, but I had like $280 on my debit card US, because basically everywhere you go, they take debit cards, and the debit cards nowadays are smart cards, and they'll convert the money over for you. So you don't really have to even think about it or worry about it. Depending on your bank, you might pay a fee for them to convert it over, but I didn't even worry about it. I just swiped, and after I swiped, which is why this is the last app rounding it out and the most important, after I swipe, I would open up my bank app, and I would see how much did it take out of the account, how much did this meal cost me, or how much did this shirt cost me, and it definitely helped me to keep track of my budget, how much money I had, and what I was spending. After a couple of days, I kind of got into the groove of knowing the conversion rate and about how much things would cost. But instead of, being in there and trying to count out euros, because who can count out euros except for people who use euros, you know what I mean? Instead of really, diving into the money, I just swipe my card. So the 5th and most important app for you to have when you are traveling, to Paris or London or any place for that matter, is going to be your electronic banking app. So just to recap again, we have the Citymapper, your Facebook Messenger, Google Translate, Yelp, and whatever type of banking institution you work with or you're a part of, if they have an app for your phone, you better download it. So guys, I hope you like this video. Make sure you thumbs up, comment below, and let me know what are some apps, if you've traveled before, what are some apps that you have on your phone, because I'm always looking to improve my experience when I travel, and these are just my 5 go-to, but I know there are so many more apps out there that might do all of these things in one. So if you have a favorite app that you use for travel, make sure you comment below, let me know, and stay tuned for more on my travel series.